What? Something wrong?
We're still muted.
There he
Oh,
is!
there he is! Look who showed up finally!
Wait, how long was the timer on?
Probably a whole minute. Probably
You
a
picked
whole
the
minute.
wrong time to go get a drink or whatever you
No,
did.
that's impossible.
Nah, he was pooping. It gotta be pooping.
Was it that long? We'll edit that out. We'll edit that out. Wait, really? I looked at the timer like I've had a couple drinks of wine to deal with this podcast today. I'm not gonna
You got
lie.
the wrong.
You got- what-
screen.
what-
I know. I
That's
switched.
completely wrong
Just
screen
shut
up.
up.
This
Oh.
guy's a clown. Who we got running this podcast here?
Do you
bro?
guys come here for the real streamer hour or the real gamer hour? I'm
True,
so
you're
tired. I've been
you're
up since
such a
6 a.m.
gamer.
gaming. I'm
You're
tired.
such a gamer. You're hopped up on some wine and whatever that is, and you're
More
just
wine.
you're here for the gaming. You're not here for any of this other content. All right, let's get started.
Honestly,
Welcome,
I'm
everybody.
just depressed. I didn't even change the topic list because I realized partway through. So I'm gonna change it on the fly. Let's do the intro. We're the RGH
Oh
podcast.
no! The
Oh
topic
my
list was
gosh.
last week.
This
God.
professionalism. This is what you want.
Well, while he's doing that, we're gonna let you all know that our first topic tonight. We're gonna dive right in. We're gonna talk
We
about
got-
Destiny.
yeah, we gotta
The
talk
new
about the Destiny.
season.
Apparently, I gotta say, apparently some of you guys like they talk about Destiny too much. Hey, the new season just dropped, baby. Like we gotta talk. There's a lot of stuff going on, so we gotta talk about that. There's a ton of like topics and controversy and all that stuff going on. Literally right now, I think the nerf stasis
Movement.
hashtag movement really started trending. The transmog stuff got revealed on like how long it takes, and it's actually insane. There's also some good stuff. This, all the weapons this season, all that stuff. We also got to talk about Apex Legends. It was the most streamed game for like
Most
7 days
streamed
straight.
game,
Unbelievable.
7 on
We'll talk about
Twitch.
that. A new literally out of nowhere.
Yeah.
A new Division game got announced while still like there's going to be another Division 2 piece of content. Crazy. And then I think lastly we're talking about what Ninja did, I guess.
Ninja
And,
got the internet
Got canceled
all
again
upset.
for the 10th time.
Can you believe it?
All right. So let's get started here. Let's talk about the new Destiny 2 season. And the first thing we got to talk about is just the first thing that happened in the season, which is no one could play. There was massive technical issues for the first, essentially, day of this
Yeah.
DLC.
Well, it's funny because apparently Stadia was having fewer issues.
Mhm.
And I was having no issues initially on console. I got right in. I played my first mission. I queued up into a patrol. I was using some of the new weapons, and then it hit. And I was like, "Why is everyone upset on Twitter? I'm playing just fine."
What's funny
yeah.
is the reason why it wasn't
Yeah.
some crazy like
Yeah.
glitch in the game. The servers weren't down; they were up. The issue is if you had everyone was estimating about 40 friends on Steam live playing, you couldn't play. So people on
there's
console
two
were getting
issues.
in, right?
There's two issues, actually. The first one was the honeydew error.
Right.
And this happened to be as soon as
Yeah.
I did the first mission, I tried to load into the tower, literally couldn't. Honeydew every time. Oh, I'll restart the game. And then the issue you're talking about, where it would crash before you could even get to the character selection. And that crash, they found out, was from people who had over 40 or around 40-ish friends. Like, I remember removing people, crash, and I got down to 35 and then let me in. So it's like, oh my goodness, right? Which, what kind of a glitch is that? The game crashes if you have... So if you didn't crash, you have no friends. I mean, like, that's...
Come on, man.
Bro.
But,
Well, and then
crazy.
some people were speculating that it had to do with the fact that the crossplay stuff was like suddenly live.
Crossplay, like, literally accidentally went live. Like, everyone's overlooking that, how wild that is. But, like, people were playing, like, people from Xbox were playing with people on PC and stuff.
Right.
Like,
it's
how
like,
did that happen?
They're like, if it's already slipping in, they're way closer than we thought. Like,
I guess.
it's like right there. It's being tested, and so that's pretty cool. I mean, it shows that like, well, it works. It works. We didn't mean to show it off right now, but if they have it all fully functioning already, sweet. That means crossplay is going to be here sooner rather than later in Destiny.
Yeah, dude, how's that happen though? It's like,
I know.
oh, crossplay is
Oopsies.
live.
A major feature just happened to go live.
That's supposed to officially go live next season, which comes out in August. That's like multiple months away. And that definitely, I think, contributed to the instability of the servers.
Sure.
It's like
Has to be.
randomly crossplays live. It's like,
Yeah. But a lot of us are willing to overlook server issues right out of the gate because that's kind of the standard, right? I mean, just about every game major event that happens these days.
I was
Outriders launch, Apex new season. I mean,
all the Destiny players who were like ribbing on Outriders for having like a rough launch, and then we go through this.
That's
then
right,
you can't play if you have friends, and it's like, okay, well, maybe we gotta forgive them there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
we got a new
luckily-
activity. We got Override, which is the new
Once
match
people
made.
finally got in, there was some
6
content to be had.
So you go with this whole intro mission, which I won't spoil anything for you in case you don't want that spoiled, which was pretty neat. You'd have your introduction mission with Mithrax, or Misrax, who's going to be your kind of the focus of the narrative this season. And I will say this, we're going to get to we got a fair amount of criticism, but I do want to make it clear that exposition-wise, Destiny is continuing to impress, in my opinion, in the narrative that they're telling and the way that they tell that narrative. And they've got so many voice actors who are now a part of this season, contributing to that narrative. We got a new character. We got the House of Light, right? We're sharing our space in the last city with Fallen.
Which actually, I want to say, like, actually sharing, I think it's really cool when you go into that new area of the Helm. I thought it was just going to be a couple of Fallen there hanging out. But it's like, there's people there and they're like, talking to the Fallen. You see people like taking notes and stuff, looking
like
at the
learning
Fallen,
from
like
them,
repairing the ship. And I'm like, wow, it's actually a lot more interesting. Again, I really just thought there'd be a couple Fallen there, but it's like Bungie seems to be hinting at a full-fledged like alliance, which I think is like really interesting from a story perspective.
One of the
it's
things,
kind of cool that go ahead.
Well, one of the things that I was like really impressed with was after that first mission. I mean, I don't know if this is spoilers necessarily, but you end up going to like kind of a refugee camp, and I was kind of looking around and I was like, wait a second. This is Scourge of the Past?
I've been here before.
This is the Scourge of the Past raid, and the raid boss was like dead on the side, like just scrap metal. And I was like, whoa. And so you're seeing some of that
here.
Right? You're seeing some of that world building though, is like, yeah, we beat the raid and now this is a safe area and they can live here. And one of the things I really love too is, I don't know if you guys jumped up top, but you know where that map was during the raid, there's a bunch of Fallen and you can interact with a bunch of stuff there. There's like a ghost and there's like paintings on the wall and like a bunch of stuff. And
they talk about the culture.
Yeah, it gives you more lore. It gives you some of that like background, and it humanizes them a little bit. It shows like,
which makes me
Saint
feel
14,
bad.
they're like scared of them. Yeah,
I've been killing
these guys to complete a bounty so I can get 100 glimmer, and now you're telling me they're not so bad.
We've been going out there stopping their ether harvesters, and then you talk to one of the Fallen, and she explains, she's like, we need ether to literally grow our bodies. If we don't have ether, most of the Fallen you see out there are underdeveloped. We can't. What you see as a captain is really what we're supposed to look like all the time. Like, that's a fully matured Fallen. And I'm like over there like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're just like making them all malnutrition. Like they're like,
that's right.
But I also feel like the guy from Hot Fuzz who's like reloading the shotgun. He's like, shame. Like,
shame.
Sucks, buddy. I'm still getting these bounties done. So world building is fantastic. It's very hard to judge on the new activity. I've heard some people say it's underwhelming. I've heard some people say it's cool. I think it's like relatively cool. It feels a little bit different than some of the other ones. It's hard to say like it's not as good as Menagerie, because remember, there's only one available. And then in the coming weeks, we're going to get a lot more. So like perhaps the maps will get more expansive. Perhaps it's also going to be really awesome if one, like the one on Europa, which is the current one, and one somewhere else, if they're very, like the Tangled Shore, let's say, if they're very different than one another, if they play pretty differently, and you have like a whole different like Vex thing to make your way through, that would be like pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to judge right now.
One of the things I will say is a plus with this new activity is there's a lot more ways to interact with it to speed up the process. Like with a lot of these other match-made events we've had in the past, they've all been very, very simple, very straightforward. But with this one, there's a lot of ways you can speed up. You know, Go through the portal, kill that boss as quickly as you can. Like, hey, I've got heavy. I'm gonna go through that portal, drop the boss, get the data, come out. We'll speed up the process a little bit. Hey, I know I can clearly see none of my blueberries know you gotta shoot the red node.
Yeah.
So I'll just do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things you can do where if you're in the groove and you know the activity, you can speed up the process a lot. And I think this is cool. There's a lot of different interactive elements to the activity.
Yeah.
The one problem I have though is it seems like the enemy density is like sometimes it feels like it's almost worse than Battlegrounds, even though there's 6 people. Like I feel like they could have thrown in more enemies and that would have been awesome.
Yeah, there's times where I'm looking for enemies.
Yeah.
When you're
same.
when you're trying to build the spire and get to
Yeah.
the vortex. Yeah, I hear that.
One of
Yep.
the other positives while we're on positives is I've noticed quite a few different guns that I'm like, oh,
Like 30
like,
plus.
like damn, like
There's a
what,
ton of guns,
what is that?
man.
Some of
New
them
perks
they're
too.
trash. Like Bungie, they put archetypes that just like aren't meta, and so I instantly don't care. Or and you know, there's some perks that it's like, well, that sounds cool. It's not gonna be good. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm looking at it, and it's like it's different, but I don't care. But I think there are quite a few where I am interested in at least hunting them down, and I've seen some of the roles that are, you know, the potential roles. I don't have them yet, so I haven't got to experience them, but I have a few where I've got my eyes open. There's the SMG, you know, from Gambit that looks pretty good, and
Yeah.
I mean, obviously all
The new
the
Trials SMG looks good too.
yeah, or was the Trials SMG? It is
It's
Trials
like a
SMG.
600 RPM.
Oh yeah,
a lot of
that's
the
the one.
A lot of the new seasonal weapons look really good. Like the grenade launcher finally is a kinetic one, which we haven't had in a really long time. So that opens up a lot of possibilities with your build.
Oh goody, another kinetic grenade launcher that doesn't
No.
require special ammo.
No, it does. It's a special. It's a special, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
but it
that's
goes-
special.
All I
but
know
it-
is I keep getting pegged with it in PvP. And
Oh,
I'm so
Dude,
yeah.
PvP GLs are nuts
Okay.
right now, man.
Yes, I
we'll
agree,
get in
but
that
I'm just-
later.
I'm just talking about from a PvE perspective. I'm saying it's really exciting because, especially since there's like an a unstoppable stunning grenade launcher as a perk. Previously, like this is literally the only kinetic GL aside from the Wither Horde. So like your loadouts were severely limited, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
for
you
sure.
can use all these awesome energy primaries, which you literally weren't able to before because you had to run an energy GL. So like I'm thankful they did some stuff like that. The seasonal weapons look pretty sweet.
Yeah. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this the first time you can get slide shot on a breach load launcher?
I'm not
Or
sure.
has that been on a I've
I
never
don't-
seen slide shot on a breach.
Yeah, I think it might be
Grenade
the
launcher
first time.
before.
There's a lot of firsts. I mean, the plug one, I did a video on it today about like the roles you should farm for. It has a perk that only it can have. It's like surrounded, but for fusion rifles, your charge time gets a lot faster if you're surrounded. So it's like, okay, that's sweet. Like only that gun can get it right now in the game.
Yeah.
So I'm always happy when they do stuff like that. Like give these little unique factors to guns.
That's right. That's right.
So loot wise, sweet. But there's some problems. Go
Now,
ahead,
here's the
season.
but.
All right. Well, you take it away in terms of Stasis. Nerf Stasis is basically trending on Twitter right now.
Yeah, so Nerf Stasis is kind of trending. It's kind of like a movement right now. Here's the problem: is that we're now 7 months after Stasis, and
Feels like years.
the feedback has been very consistent, very very consistent. The overwhelming majority of people are saying, "Listen, we like this in PvE. We don't like it in PvP. We think it's actually really, really hindering the game and hindering the experience of PvP. And we're worried. And we're consistently getting like really minor changes to Stasis in the negative department, but we're getting a lot more Stasis. Like Bungie's like, okay, we hear you. We're listening. Here's a new Stasis sidearm. Here's a bunch of new aspects and fragments. We're also going to nerf Icarus Dash so it can't get out of the slow debuff like it used to be able to. So we're kind of going to buff Stasis as well. So it's like, we hear you. Here's more Stasis. Here's more Stasis. Here's more Stasis over and over and over again. And the community
I should say, like, the aspect thing is very important. Like, they added, especially the hunter aspect is getting a lot of attention, but I think the other ones are good too. That this hunter aspect makes these grenades a lot better. And this is not an exotic. Like, this is at the power of an exotic, but it's just an aspect. And these grenades are literally S+ tier. Cold Snap grenade is an S tier grenade. Like you almost always run that. Dust Fields have been nerfed several times. It's bumped down to maybe an A tier now. And Frost Wall, if you're running Shower Dive, S to A plus tier grenade. And all of them just got, like, you literally made the best grenade in the game, Cold Snap, much better. Much, like, it's not like a little bit better. It's like much better, right? Like, the Lucky Raspberry exists. That just barely makes the, like, arc bolt or whatever it's called grenade. That barely makes just that grenade better. This is a free aspect that you can just put on without taking up an exotic slot. And it's like Lucky Raspberry on steroids times 1,000,000 for all 3 of your grenades. Unbelievable. Like,
remember when I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna come back to Destiny?
We called this too.
I'm quitting Destiny. I'm quitting Destiny after 1 day of playing because I cannot believe how awful the sandbox is. They have killed this game. They have killed this game for me. Again, I like doing raids. I like the PvE activities. PvP is so awful, in my opinion. I can't believe it. And when I saw the grenade description, I was like, no. Like, no.
It can't be.
And then this morning, I went and did the quest. I actually, because I didn't play last season, I had to do a different fragment or aspect.
Right.
And so I finally get it, and I just couldn't believe how strong it was. You're splitting the grenade in 2. It's faster. It's bigger. It's just deadlier. I just couldn't believe it. And
you can freeze the same person twice with one grenade.
Yeah.
You throw it at him, it freezes him, he breaks out, it turns around, it comes back and freezes him again.
Yeah.
And I just want to say also, like, everyone's talking about this because it's the most trendable one because you can put it side by side and just put it on Twitter and say, look at this, right? But even the Warlock one, people have said the Warlock one sucks. Dude, people already run Stasis Warlocks with claws to get double melees with 100 strength. So every time you come around a corner, you're bopped. Bop, bop, you're frozen. Every time you're frozen. So now you can put on the new Stasis Warlock where anytime you freeze an enemy, they produce the shards, which gives you your melee back. Mm-hmm. So you're even getting more melee energy back. You're going to be able to freeze even more people. Like, the Claws Warlock was already a pretty high tier build. That new aspect is a pure increase for them. Like, I feel like they're definitely going to run that. And, like, again, that's the least powerful one that no one cares about. And that's going to become an absolute, like, mainstay in that build. Like, really, crazy.
Really quickly, Decimations, he kind of said, TV, do you and Mtashed and other streamers hate Stasis because it lowers the skill gap, or can you explain why you hate it so much? I watch your streams and I see that you hate it. And he said, again, I just don't understand why you guys hate it so much. I'm just going to give you, like, a really quick breakdown. Freezing is really unsatisfying. I think most people agree getting frozen is really unsatisfying because you have to just wait for your death and there's no counterplay. And they've actually taken out, now with this patch, one of the only counterplays to slow. So between the slowing and between the freezing, the fact that it makes it almost impossible to aim when you're slowed, the fact that you're waiting for your death when you freeze, and the fact that Stasis is better in every way, it is literally pay to win at this point. It's frustrating because it's all you really see. And one of the big issues is, in a lot of situations, you might be shooting at a guy, and if he stuck you with a magnetic grenade, you'd be able to kill them. Before that,
trade.
You could trade.
Or win.
Right? Before that grenade goes off, maybe you slay him and you trade. It is what it is. Or maybe he throws a vortex grenade at your feet. You can jump out of that. You can dash out of it. You can move out of it. And you can get away. But when you get frozen, you're dead. When you get frozen, you've ruined that encounter. And it is just one of these things that maybe not everyone agrees, but someone like myself, it is so anti-fun that it has ruined the game. I feel that strongly about it, which I understand not everyone agrees with that, right? And that's the thing, is like, when someone like myself is saying it, I understand, I get like heated and I'm saying like, I hate it. Not everyone feels that way, but there are a lot of players that they just feel like it's kind of cheap. And even when you're on the aggressive end of it, it doesn't feel great and rewarding to use. It feels overpowered to me and cheap. So I don't want to use it.
Does it feel cooler? Does it feel cooler to quick scope somebody to the head and be like, yo, I hit that? Or does it feel cooler to freeze somebody and while they're standing there helpless, be like, I'm going to punch him. I'm going to shoot him once with this gun. He's gonna, you know what I mean? But another thing, just everything he said, plus I'm a different kind of player. I tend to go into PvP and I do lots of build crafting. I sit down and I spend lots of time thinking about perk combinations between mods, armor, and weapon perks and exotic perks, all that stuff, even your artifact perks. And I try to come up with really interesting combinations. And a lot of these combinations that Destiny allows the player to express their creativity with, they require you to do a little bit of setup. Okay, so if I do steps A, B, and C, then I'm going to have a really cool thing I can do after that, right? So for example, I run a lot of mods that will ramp up sidearm damage if I get, like if I get like 2 kills ahead of time and I get 2 stacks of multi-kill clip plus the surprise attacks, and then I activate I couldn't consume my grenade, I've got Devour, I'm basically going to be doing like triple damage with my sidearm, you know what I mean, for a few seconds. But it's really frustrating when it takes setup to accomplish these things and to get your build to the point where you're ready to do something really cool. It takes a lot of work. And then you instantly get frozen. And all they had to do is hit one button. That's it. By the way, they don't even have to hit you. They can hit the wall over freaking there.
Yeah, it's
and it
so
will come back and it will hit me. And all the work that I did, all the work, the time I spent crafting my build, the time I spent getting multiple kills and consuming and doing cooldown management to get that thing ready to go, it's done. It's kaput. And it is infuriating as a player to experience that.
That's something that's so important. Like someone in the chat was like, "Oh, these 3 guys are just butthurt because Destiny is not a competitive game."
I'm still dropping
like,
50 bombs, buddy.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like we know it's not a competitive game, dummy. No one's competing for tournaments. Like no one thinks it's a high level comp game. It's just anti-fun. Dude, I'm a PvE player. I barely go into PvP. But when I do, like, I can slay out with Stasis. But like Tash said, it doesn't feel good. It's like you throw a grenade, it warps around the corner to hit someone and freeze them, and then you just pop them with a shotgun. And you're like, that took no skill. Like, I want to see the percent chances of, like, your win rate for a gunfight between just hitting someone and freezing them with a cold snap and then actually literally sticking them with a magnetic grenade. I bet your win rate is higher with the cold snap. And that's what we're talking about. It's like when you're in normal Crucible, it's just not fun because you have this huge movement section of the game, right? Movement's such an important part of Destiny, and Stasis completely negates movement.
Right. So before we go like too far into the balance, one thing I do want to touch on, if you guys didn't see this already, I'm going to bring it up. I should be able to bring up the little Twitter thing here. There is a tweet from Kevin Yanes, who's one of the Sandbox guys.
Yeah, I was going to hit that.
I can't say much yet, but we are actively trying to adjust or to make adjustments to Stasis. We know it is too hot and needs to be knocked down a few, brackets, many pegs. Our focus for the next few balance updates are to shift more and more focus to PvP gameplay towards guns. Again, more on that in the future. So I mean, they definitely have addressed that, which is awesome.
But they addressed this earlier. They said that same sentiment comes from like a developer update from months ago, right? So it's always like months down the line, we're gonna fix what we broke today, and I think people are getting a little sick of that. And we'll discuss this in Apex, where Apex was able to change and nerf guns that were overpowered in the space of a week. So it was overpowered, and a week later, it's nerfed. That's crazy. That's fast, and the community was super happy about that.
Yeah. Yep. So should we jump on to Apex now?
We'll talk. Yeah, we can talk about.
Well, hold on.
Well, before we move on, we do need to talk about. Well, first of all, let me just address what Tocom said. One of the things that we're worried about as a PvP community, I think I speak for a lot of people in the PvP community, is we're really freaking tired of hollow words. And I'm not talking about the fusion rifle. I'm talking about a year ago here and refocus on PvP. We're focused on PvP. We're committed to PvP. We're committed to making sure that your guns matter. We're committed to making sure that the balance between ability usage and gun usage is more of an even ratio. We're tired of hollow words, and we've been given grace, and we've been patient. And a lot of us are literally ready to walk away from the game. And I've seen it from Consecrators. I've seen Gigs talk about it. I've seen Frostbolt talk about it openly on Twitter. Slayer just talking about it. Mike's talking about it. People are tired of it. Yeah. And patience is running out.
And that's very concerning. Like, it rubs me the wrong way.
It's time to nut up or shut up.
It rubs me the wrong way when you see people being like, oh, streamers. Like, oh, streamers. It's like, listen, this guy is infinitely better than you and has invested infinitely more time into this game, and he cares about this game so much more than you, the fact that they're willing to quit the game at this point is a huge red flag. Like, all these people being like, oh, streamers, like, bro, you're like, you can't even beat a Grandmaster Nightfall, and then you think you know anything about balance. Like, you know what I mean? It's a little bit mean to say, but it's like, take a step back and realize that these are like the most committed players who absolutely love this franchise, and the fact that they're this concerned is a huge problem. And I think people are too eager to sweep them under the rug because, oh, I get a couple more kills a game because of a cold snap grenade. It's like, good for you, dude. Meanwhile, the player population is at some of its lowest levels, you know, for a post-launch content. It's like the game is literally dying to the point where you're going to have these people, they're going to be the last people matchmaking each other. There's going to be 12 people left playing the entire game, all using Stasis at each other. The last 12 people, you know, arguing on forums about how Stasis isn't that bad. Like, you guys are clueless if you think it's not bad.
I don't want to quit. I don't want to leave this awesome community. Like, that's the thing is like, I don't play this bunk gotcha game called Genshin because I necessarily want to. It's just like, I play an hour of Destiny and I can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe the game it has become. It's so sad. Like, I teared up one time. Like, looking at it, I was like, I just miss those days. I miss playing with all my buddies and grinding the game, but I can't because I start getting so angry because it's so unfun to me. And like, I've taken
you can do everything right. If you get slowed, you lost that gunfight.
Truly.
You flank around someone, you pull these epic maneuvers, doesn't matter. You get slowed, you're done.
No, conversely, like we were talking about, conversely, Apex Legends recently launched a new season.
Hold on. One more thing we gotta talk about this. No, I'm sorry. We have got to talk about this. Transmog. So Transmog launched. This was supposed to be a positive thing. Everyone was looking forward to Transmog. I can take this raid gear from the Sunset raid, all this crazy stuff, and I can make my character, the Destiny fashion subreddit and stuff. We're like, we're gonna be bumping, dude. We're gonna be absolutely bumping, right? And then it turns out that Bungie not only has introduced a cap, so it's 4 total armor sets per character for this season, and then in every other season it's going to drop down to 2. So next season, season 15, you can convert 2 armor sets into ornaments, and that's it. If you want to do more, you have to pay money. So everyone was like already upset about this cap. Turns out, this just got revealed like today/yesterday. You have to grind for around 25 hours of in-game gameplay to get 1 armor set into ornaments, because the bounties for collecting the resources to use the transmog system, they are not connected to kills. The wording makes it seems like it is, but it only drops every so often in terms of time.
2 minutes,
get
right?
1,000 kills. Every 2 minutes or so it drops. So you can get 1,000 kills in those 2 minutes. You can get 2 kills in those 2 minutes, and you're gonna get one of those like materials or like one thing for the bounty. And then after you do the bounty, you have to play like 8 Crucible games or 4 strikes or whatever to get the next part. So everyone is like furious because not only do they have this cap, so you can, even if you grind your butt off, you can only get a small amount of ornaments before you have to pay, but also, I think someone did the math where it's going to be approximately 7 days of playtime to get 1 armor set complete and into ornaments. Like, what the hell?
Think of how many.
That's crazy.
Wait. Are you talking 7 days, like times 24 hours? Like,
I'm not sure it's times 24 hours. It might just be like of 8 hours a day for 7 days or something like that.
But still, think of how many games you've played. Period. Like, I'm looking at some games that I've played, like, Slay the Spire and some of these other games, and like maybe you throw like 60, 70 hours in there and stuff. Like, not everyone grinds the game the way we do. That's a lot of time to get these armor sets. To get 1 armor set.
The whole like Destiny dad, I can only play an hour a week meme. Yeah? There are people that they work full-time jobs, sometimes multiple full-time jobs. They don't have a lot of time. They like, are they realistically even going to be able to get the cap of armor sets before the season ends? Like, that's crazy. And here's the annoying part. I remember saying in a video, like, I'm okay with a grind, even a hardcore grind like this, if there was no cap. So it's like when the season's dead, you still have a reason to play. And you're just plugging away, you're doing these missions in the background, and you're constantly getting more ornaments. But Bungie did both. They made a super annoying grind, and then capped it anyways. Like, why do you need a cap? If you're gonna make us grind for 7 days to get a freaking armor set, why are you still capping it at 2? Because if the grind was this bad, people would be totally okay paying to skip the grind. Bungie's still gonna make absolute bank and a half. But it's like, the fact that they had to do both, it's like, they took both greedy options and combined them into one massively option of like utter greed. It just, it seems very, very anti-consumer.
100%. And, you know,
like, if I can only get 2, let me get it right away. Like, what? If there's a cap, then you don't need to make me grind because there's a cap. You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
One or the other.
They've double dipped so hard that it's frustrating. It's truly frustrating.
But yeah, it's all these things now that just really makes it look bad, right? Like, because I went on my rant. It's the same last time, and it's kind of the same thing. It's like, you know, they keep saying renewed PvP focus. We're gonna fix Stasis. They've been fixing Stasis for months now, and then it's like, then they do this with Transmog, and it's like, well, again, it's like, where's our money going? Because it's not going to balance. Because you guys can't get a handle on Stasis whatsoever. Like, where is this going? And it's like, why do you need more money? And and why does it need to be this anti-consumer? And now we're at the point where, you know, for me, I haven't done one transmog thing because I'm like afraid to, because it's like, it's so limited and it's such a grind. I feel like I'm going to transmog the wrong armor piece, then I'm going to regret it later. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it could be this exciting thing where it's like, finally, I got my set ready to go. Like, I can't wait. But now it's like this negative cloud around it. It was just so unnecessary to do it this way.
Well, if they don't do something soon,
everyone's moving to Apex Legends.
Yeah.
Did you know? Did you know that for 7 days straight, Apex Legends was the most streamed game on Twitch for 7 days? That's crazy. And on top of that, what else, something that's kind of interesting? The top 3 games were all battle royales. It was Apex Legends, followed by Fortnite, followed by Warzone. Those were the top 3 games streamed on Twitch. A lot of people say the BR genre is a dying trend.
Yeah,
baby, it is not dying. It is so healthy. Like, holy cow.
It's
really cool.
It's huge.
Yeah. Apex's new season, they launched it. You know, they had a rocky launch like everybody does for the first few hours. They got a handle on it, and everybody's been digging it. They've been digging it. And on top of that, the community had some concerns about the new bow. They're like, hey, this is kind of nuts, man. Like, people just constantly just jaboink for the same amount of damage as the Sentinel. It's kind of too much. We're not really digging it. And they're like, okay, we fixed it. We'll drop the damage down. We'll increase the draw speed on it. Oh, by the way, you guys were kind of complaining about the Spitfire too, so we dropped the damage on that. Just 1 damage per bullet. So if you love the Spitfire, hey, you're still going to be just fine. And nerf the ammo in the mag. And it's like, yo, they are so fast to respond to feedback, implement changes, and their season is booming because of it. They're making absolute bank.
Right, because instead of people getting mad, because I've talked about this before, is like, there's a thing where I call it annoyance to resentment, and it's something I've talked about in videos before. Is like, initially with One-Eyed Mask, you're annoyed with it. With One-Eyed Mask back in Forsaken, it was so overpowered. People are like, ah, man, that One-Eyed Mask is annoying. It's annoying. It's annoying. But then eventually, a month or 2 in, it's like, God, I hate that thing.
Absolutely hate it.
It goes from being annoyed and it's like, it's a little strong, to I hate it. I resent it. I am angry when I see it. And I feel like with Destiny, I mean, I'm not going to jump back into that fully.
Bungie waits until you're literally quit the game before they do
until
that.
you're crying. Like,
it's like, how does it take you this long to respond? Like, didn't you remove half the game so you could like patch stuff quicker?
Right? Exactly.
What happened to Titan, bro? What happened to all these planets and raids?
But I mean,
what happened to Menagerie? Menagerie died so you could still take 7 months to fix Stasis? Like, what's going on?
Right. But Apex, the season launched like last week. It's been about 1 week, and they were already able to fix this. So I mean, that's really good. One of the things I'm really curious of is with all the people that are streaming Apex, what percentage of that is BRs and the new season of the BRs and playing the new arena mode? Because I really like the arena mode, but I already found myself like,
It's very sweaty.
it's
I
so
would say.
sweaty. It's so
They
sweaty.
turned the
They haven't-
skill-based matchmaking up to like COD World League. Like you might as well be playing in tournaments for money.
That's what. Yeah. Apex is known for that. The skill-based matchmaking in Apex Legends is off the charts. So if anyone ever, I see this a lot in the Destiny community. People are like, we really wish we had skill-based matchmaking. Go play some Apex Legends and just verify.
And just
you
get
may
stomped?
still
Yeah.
you may still feel that way. That's very much an option.
You
may
won't, though.
feel that way, but
Yeah.
but yeah. So that makes
But
it very.
do they
approachable
have like
for
a
casual
they-
gamer?
Sorry, but they have like a pretty hardcore ranking system though, right?
And they
Like,
have
you
a
have a
they have
clear
a-
rank.
Yep, they've got a ranking system.
In that case, skill-based matchmaking, that's fine. You can have strict skill-based matchmaking if you have this very hardcore ranking system and you say from the get-go, we're going to be a competitive shooter. This is a competitive arena experience. Then you bring on the skill-based matchmaking because they
ranked
say it
arena-
from the get-go.
Yeah, ranked arena isn't quite here yet. It is coming.
Okay, but like
But
you know
they
what
do
I'm
have a
saying?
ranked mode for the BR.
It's
But
set
yeah,
up like a very hardcore competitive experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's very different from like playing Control for bounties, right? Like
Right.
one needs skill-based matchmaking, one definitely doesn't.
It's so interesting that like we saw H1Z1 and we saw Fortnite and what was it, Blackout, Call of Duty Blackout, Warzone, now
Yep.
we're in Apex. I mean, Apex has been out for a while now, but like BRs, even though I'm burnt out on them, like I'm not loving them, they're obviously still super popular. Like it must be like the normie thing. You know what I mean? Like the people that aren't maybe hardcore gamers, like they play BRs and they watch BRs.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Is like people that are on Twitch for like the first time, they're like, I'm gonna go watch Warzone. Like they're uncultured and that's the only thing they know.
You know what is interesting though? I'm gonna ask this question to you guys. Do you think that they're popular because they're BRs, or do you think they're popular because they're free? And like the combination of being free and being a BR, which a BR is so easy to get into. You don't have to level up your character. How good you are depends on what you pick up, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
but again, like I think the factor of them all being free, because not only are all the top games all BRs, they're all free. That's like another factor they share. Like, do you think maybe if they had Destiny is kind of free. Again, you have to pay for the seasons and all that. I wonder if they had, they just haven't figured out how to get a proper free-to-play of these other genres. Like, BR is easy to do because you can sell the microtransactions so easy. Because it's just like the customization of your character, right? And the skins of the weapons.
It's a
Like,
completely different model, yeah.
How are you going to do like an RPG? They haven't quite figured that out.
Yeah.
Bungie's trying to,
Yeah, I mean, the free-to-play market is amazing. Like even on mobile, like there's Gods of Boom. Like I know you've probably never seen that, but like there's like Gods of Boom, which has like insane, like $300 million of revenue every month. Like this insane.
Jeez.
There's a game. It kind of looks like an Overwatch clone called Shadow Gun War or something. Shadow War Guns. There's all these free mobile games too.
There's
that are
Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah.
Oh
But there's all these
God.
like free shooter games and free games like Fortnite clones that like they pop off. There's clones in Roblox of Fortnite that have like 100,000 concurrent players. It's insanity. So as soon as you add free, I think you're winning. You just are. And like I don't know if that's the perfect segue into the new Division thing.
It is.
But
it is.
They came out last week and they're like, oh, by the way, we're making a new Division game. It's not Division 3. We've already got Division 2.
It's Division Homelands, right?
Heartland?
Heartland. Maybe, yeah, you're right, I think.
Yeah.
They're making a new Division game, but it's going to be 100% free. There's obviously, they had to monetize it with microtransactions. But my wonder, like as soon as I heard that, I was excited. Is this Division 3? Like, is it going to be a full-on game? Just wait.
Okay.
Is it gonna be a full-on game, a big-ass game, but they're just making it free and they're gonna get microtransactions? And like, is this the next big thing that these devs are doing? Because Ubisoft also came out with their statement saying we're gonna be focusing on free-to-play games, like big free-to-play games, as our new model. Is this Division 3, but they just said it's no price?
So there's no way in hell it's Division 3. I'm sorry. It just wouldn't fit in the franchise, and I think that's why this is a different thing. Like a Division 3, you would expect a lot of RPG elements, build crafting, stats, right? That's Division 3. I bet you anything, dude. I bet you anything. This is Division 1 survival mode made into its own game, right? Do you guys remember survival? You'd go in,
Yeah.
you start with nothing, you start with like a pistol, you gotta loot to equip stuff, you still have like the Division gun system with all these perks or whatever. Like we said, I just said this, right? They figured out how to make the Battle Royale, genre great for a free-to-play game, right? They figured out how to do that. And survival is in the Division is pretty close to like a Battle Royale style game. It's still PvE VP because it's kind of like Dark Zone. You can find people, you can team up with them, or you can fight each other, steal each other's loot. I feel like survival was super loved. Everyone likes survival. Like it got a huge amount of praise, but it exists off in Division 1. And I think them making the survival thing a free game is such a good idea because it brings all these people into the franchise because it's a standalone free-to-play game. Whereas if you added it to Division 2, it would kind of be behind a paywall. And that just wouldn't work. So you're bringing all these people into the franchise because now it's a free-to-play game.
Right. You know what? That is... I could see that happening. I mean, honestly, survival was fire. So if survival is one of the main things, and the first Dark Zone, fire.
A proper map, a new Heartland map, and again, because it's its own standalone game, they'd be able to tune it a lot easier, right? If they added it to Division 2, it'd be impossible to tune, right? And also, like they said, they're still making something for Division 2 later. True. So it's like we can do this standalone thing. They could just use all of the Division 2 assets, but just make the survival mode standalone, almost like a BR game.
Yeah.
All these people join because it's free, and then it's like the ultimate marketing tool. Because you say, hey, you like Division? You like Heartland? We have a full, real Division 2 game with stats and abilities and stuff, and I bet you'd see a big increase in sales, just like we saw an increase in Titanfall 2 sales.
Okay, counterpoint or question for you, though.
Okay.
If you make this banger free-to-play Division game that people love, and they're spending a bunch of money on it, and then they're like, oh, by the way, here's Division 3, aren't they going to be like, well, I just spent a bunch of money on all these skins and stuff. I don't want to play Division 3. What?
Good point. Great point. And my counter-argument is Warzone. They're literally doing the same thing with Warzone. Why would I buy Cold War when I can buy Warzone, when I'm playing Warzone? Well, because all the Cold War guns, you have to buy Cold War, and then you get them in Warzone. So you can still play Warzone without owning Cold War. It's still free to play, but if you do pay, you get a bunch more tools in your arsenal. I bet you the same thing is going to happen with Heartland and Division 2. Oh, you want the MP5 to drop? Well, you got to own this expansion for Division 2, or you got to own Division 2, or you got to own Division 3, or whatever, right?
Fair. But can I, in my heart of hearts, I really hope it just is kind of like Division 3. I kind of I would.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Right, yeah.
Can you imagine if they made it was essentially Division 3 free to play, missions, quests, a dark zone of freaking raids down the road? Do you know how insane that would be if games started doing that all the time? Like Destiny is, we kind of said, free to start, but there is a lot of stuff to do in Destiny. But if the next Division game is just like, it's free, because they can monetize the microtransactions more than ever. We've already heard that Destiny Eververse is making bank, absolute bank. So
they made like
Diablo 4,
Diablo 4
free, right? Like Diablo 4 free. All these new games that are coming out, they're just like, screw it. We're not charging you $30 because we know we're gonna make $150 off of you on skins.
Honestly,
We're gonna make $200 off of barbarian skins in Diablo 4, and we're not gonna charge you. Path of Exile's doing it. Path of Exile 2 is gonna do it. Like, is that the future of gaming?
Yeah, but Path of Exile 2, it's more than skins. It's like if you want to actually use your vault
Yeah,
you have to pay.
Yeah. And
it's
there's
like, it's pretty
yeah.
impractical. You can't really get to the end game realistically without paying.
The thing is like, is with all the game, like I feel like even with just technology, there's more people. Like there's people like Among Us that are making, like 3 people are making a game, right? And so if you don't stand out, if you're not like a AAA title, I think it's very easy to get lost. And so if you aren't free to play, even if you're $5, if you're $20, people are like, I'm not sure. As soon as you're free to play, you have accessibility, and you're gonna have people joining the game. And if a AAA title is free to play, it's like, it's just a no-brainer. I can only imagine the amount of people that jumped in and played Apex Legends on the first day. They saw the streamers playing it, and they're like, well, I might as well. It's free. Why not? And it might be the future.
Think about it. You just started gaming. Let's say you did go and spend a lot of money on PlayStation 5, right?
Yeah.
Calm down, you two. You spend your money on a PlayStation 5, right? And then it's like, I gotta buy some games. It's probably so easy to just go, I'm going to download Destiny 2, I'm going to download Warzone, I'm going to get Apex Legends, I'm going to get Fortnite. You know what I mean? It's like you have these solid free-to-play games. It's a lot harder to convince someone to spend, God forbid, $60 on a game.
Yeah, truly.
And, I mean, like, what do we hear? Call of Duty made like 1 point something billion on microtransactions in the first quarter of the year. So the whole $60 thing is like, I think it's archaic model. I think it's like, there's some standalone games that can get away with it, like God of War. People want a standalone experience, but like these multiplayer games that are going to charge you for skins, make it free to play. You reduce the barrier to entry. You get so many more players. And then you get people more willing to spend money on skins. Like, it's a weird psychological thing, right?
Yeah. I've got no money invested into this game, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
and you're not tracking it. Another part of it is that you can get sort of out of control because you're not tracking your spending. It's not like when you buy a game, you're like, oh, I bought a game. Every time I buy a game, it's $60 or $70 or whatever. But when it's a free to play game and you're just throwing skins, like I couldn't tell you how much money I spent on Apex Legends at this point, and if they told me, I'd be like, "Oh no!"
Not to mention they do the scummy thing of like, you can never just buy stuff with real money. There's always like a make believe currency,
right?
Like silver, and it's always like offset. So like you notice, a skin is 1,000 silver. You can't buy, for example, a skin is 1,000 silver. You can't buy exactly 1,000 silver. It's 1,200. So you have that 200 left over.
And then you're like, wow, I might as well get 800 more.
I only need 400 more to buy the next thing I want.
Yep. COD points the same way. Like, no free-to-play game. They figured it out. It just gets people to spend more money. As you always have a little bit left over, and you're like, well, you know what I mean? It's a little creepy when you like look into like about the behind the scenes, how they like mess with your mind.
It's kind of like a casino style strategy, trying to get money out of you.
Well, and then when you do buy something in Call of Duty, like if you buy a level in the battle pass, it's like lightning bolts, there's explosions. It's like, oh shit!
I feel so good about spending.
Exactly. It's like, get the dopamine, you piece of shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, think of this: when that Raven skin came out in Fortnite, and they made $1 billion in a month. Right?
What the
well, that's because there's like 100 million people playing. And so, even with Outriders, they were going over some of their numbers and they're shouting it out. And I've seen a couple different devs where they're like, Godfall passed 4 players. We're really excited. No. But some of the devs are like, hey, we sold 1 million copies. And it's like, that's sweet. But this free-to-play game has 50 million people playing it. Like, you've already made the game, right? You've already created it. That is a sunk cost. There's nothing you can do. You had to code it. You had to hire the developers and the artists and all that stuff. That is a sunk cost. So do you want 1 million people playing it that pay, X amount of dollars? Or do you want 50 million people that are going to buy skins and do all these different things? Because, I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point. That is the way to go. It's happening in Warzone. It's happening in Fortnite. Like, I want to know that the final dollar amount that Fortnite has paid, has been paid from all these skins. It's got to be like tens and tens of billions at this point. It's insanity.
And that's why I think, going back to our division topic, like, it makes sense for them to do a standalone free-to-play thing. And so maybe I'm wrong about survival, but if I'm wrong about survival, it's basically just going to be a Dark Zone battle royale. I feel like it's going to be a standalone battle royale survival type experience. Maybe you'll have elements of the Division 2 looting and stuff,
Right.
a little bit more. You can put together some different armor pieces that have synergies and stuff. But I feel like it's not going to be a full Division game, and that's why they're able to develop. Somehow Massive is doing this. They're making a freaking Avatar game, and they're making a Star Wars game, and they're still making Division 2 content. Like, this is the most stretched studio of all time. Like, how are they doing this?
How many people do they have on staff?
Dude, not enough, apparently. Jesus.
Yeah, truly. I mean, unless they're all using the same, like, third-person animations and all that.
Yeah,
but...
maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's that they're all working on all those things. That's crazy.
Now,
but we got to move on here at the very end.
This one is a tough one. This one's a tough one because I like Tyler Blevins a lot. I like Ninja a lot, but he did something so dastardly, so disgusting. He is getting canceled. He's getting absolutely canceled on Twitter. Honestly, at this point, like, will he lose his channel? I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's discuss it. What did he do, guys?
You want to know what he did? I'll tell you right now what he did.
Read the exact tweet, because I actually saw it in passing.
I'll bring up the tweet.
You bring up the tweet. If you bring it up, you read it out.
He says,
but basically, go ahead. I'll let you do it.
I'm in the middle of carrying a League of Legends game, about to close it out, and my braless wife brings me a sandwich, brackets, not asked for, with chips as I get a double kill bot lane. So how is your day going? That is what he tweeted, and the internet has been set on fire. They're like, how could you?
Whenever there's more quote tweets than tweets, it's like, it's bad. It's like, it is not good.
That's right.
How could you, Ninja, tweet about your wife bringing you a sandwich?
Why did people? Okay, listen. I'm just gonna give it to you straight. I think it is utterly ridiculous that people got upset about that. I mean, it's okay to say that's kind of awkward. I didn't need to know that.
It's definitely
one thing to say that.
It's definitely like, it's a little bit of a cringe tweet. It's like,
kind of cringy.
yeah,
We're not lying about that.
out in League of Legends. Just got a double kill, by the way. It's like, it's something like, I'm surprised D1 Alpha Vet didn't tweet this.
Yeah.
Oh,
100%.
That's not the thing. But that's not the thing. That's not what he got hate for.
Exactly.
People got like, okay. People got kind of mega woke about it. Like, calling them out like, how dare you be so heterosexual? You know what I mean? It's like,
truly.
Why are you getting so upset about it, man? It's just a dude who's happy about a thing that happened in his life.
Dude, Kackis, okay, teaser. If you go back a couple of episodes, there's a moment in the podcast, I would have to go find it, where Kackis goes, huh? And you might not know what that is. That is because his wife was giving him a beer in the nude while he was on the podcast. And he kind of goes, huh! And he never said anything. He didn't go to Twitter like Ninja. But, like, it was just a funny thing. It was like a thing that just caught him off guard. He's gaming out. And it's like, my bombshell wife brought me a sandwich. I'm feeling good. And I just don't see the negativity. It's not like he's like, bring me a sandwich, yada, yada, yada. People were blowing it out of proportion. And honestly, I kind of feel like, shut the hell up, you bullies. Like, really, people roast Ninja for existing. I swear to God, people roast him for existing. He's winning in life. He's a millionaire. But it's like, shut up. He's just a dude, like, chilling.
Oh, you don't have to like him, but don't overswing.
Yeah. You went through the same thing. True Vanguard tweet out something like, oh, my friends, they treat their women right. And people are like, their women?
They own them?
Like a slave? And it's like,
how dare you, True
Vanguard? Like, this is a common term. And people get so worked up about these, like, weird things. It's like, dude, it makes me annoyed because it's like, there's a genocide in China that you haven't tweeted about one single time, but you've tweeted about Ninja 400 times. Like, you're woke for your own, personal benefit because it like gives you
Look how many
get-
likes I got on this.
yeah, you get like social value based
That's
on
right.
that. So it's like, but you're not helping anyone. You're just you're insignificant, and you're making no difference in the world. You could be tweeting about the
You
real
could.
stuff,
You
but you don't.
could.
You tweet about Ninja.
Well, like even with Genshin Impact recently, like one of the new characters, Eula, there is some like in the lore, it does kind of seem almost like old timey, like in the South. Not necessarily like slave owners, but like they kind of allude to it. And then there was the hilly churl thing, and people are just losing it over the stuff. Like, I can't believe you did that with the hilly churls. And like you mimic them over like Native American dances and stuff. Like, the thing is like there is major conflict going on, but that's what they choose to focus in on. And I just feel like they could use even just in their own personal life. Like
Use your voice better.
You could use your voice so much better. And I understand like accountability, and like sometimes you do need to call out that stuff for sure. But it just seems like sometimes they just latch on in a way, and it's almost like they do it for clout more than anything. They know Ninja's attached to it, and then they roast him, and they do all these things, and it's like, dude, imagine if that was you. Ninja was a normal dude. He played Halo. He played H1Z1. He blew up. Absolutely. But like, I look at the comments I get sometimes, and I look at the way people talk to him, and I'm like, Jesus, I would be so depressed if I had to deal with that as much as he does. Like,
all the time.
Having all the money in the world is cool and all, but my goodness, would it not be tough to deal with that?
But yeah, it's weird. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, did he make an absolute cringe tweet? Yup. Like, why are you saying that? It's like the way he's like, I'm just as I got a double kill. It's also like, bro, shut up, Ninja. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that's the thing that always weirds me out. Like, I just see that and I just chuckle and I go about my day. Like, I don't the motivation to go and like to comment these like negative things, it just always seems weird. Like, people go out of their way to like argue with you in the comments. Dude, I'll see people like in my notifications that have been arguing with each other for like multiple days.
I know, right?
It's like, how do you not have anything better to do?
They legitimately slept on it. They're like, I'm gonna sleep on it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come back with a banger response tomorrow.
Bro. Like, I'm out here. It's like, what are you guys up to? Like, oh my word.
Man.
I mean, the one thing that people are kind of roasting, and like, I get it, it's kind of funny, is like, it's like, bro, like, have you ever had sex before? Like he's kind of like, well, my wife, she wasn't even wearing a bra. She didn't have a bra while I'm playing legal. Like, I get it. It's kind of funny for those
the people. Those aren't the people that we're talking about. Like, the people just ribbing him, it's like, that's a different thing. It's like the people who are like, wow, you're like a sexist now. And it's like, what? It's like, what? He's just like, oh, my beautiful wife, that I'm sexually attracted to, brought me some food.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
All the people calling him a virgin.
Dude, like, if it was like, it's like,
I've been married for I'm going on 11 years next month. Okay? We've been there and we've done that. But every time is still pretty cool.
But it's also like, if you never brought your wife some drinks or something when you're slanging dick and you're just, you know what I mean? Like, what up, girl?
That's that.
And she's like, damn, boy. Damn, dude. Like,
my wife would just slap me away and get the hell out of here. I'm trying to watch Dr. Phil.
I'm trying to watch Grey's Anatomy for the 25th time in a row.
I'm tired. Me, I see a little side boob and I'm like, okay.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Genshin Impact can wait.
The side boob and Genshin Impact can wait.
Truly. Was there one more topic, or are we done? With the
I don't
main
know.
topics?
You wrote bonus, but I don't know what that is.
I know.
I don't know what
I'm
that is.
asking because I couldn't remember. I feel like there was one more. Oh no!
Did you guys know that you can get advanced GG with our discount code RGH?
Crap.
Now, advanced GG is clinically proven. The only clinically proven gamer supplement. It's going to give you some extra energy, nice little boost during the day. I actually have lately been I've got 2 tubs of Cactus Kiwi Lime, and I got to say that stuff's That stuff's pretty good.
Nice.
I
thank
like
you.
it.
Your PayPal payment's on the way.
Wait. I have one bonus thing, but I'm worried that if I show the tweeze, we'll get demonetized.
Don't do it. Then.
Well-
What is it? Describe it.
Well, I remember when I took a screenshot of the Twitch homepage, and there was the girl with. Okay, let me just. I'll pose. We talked about an emote getting banned that is essentially Tifa from Final Fantasy in cartoon form, and it's like of her torso like this, right?
With two shirts
and
on.
True Vanguard said it's because it focuses just here. If there was a stream of just boobs, that Twitch would have a problem with it.
Right.
Little
No,
did we
I didn't
know.
say. I said they should.
Okay, they should. Yeah,
I
true.
said they should.
Yeah.
A couple days later, he sends us a screenshot
on the front page,
in here.
and I'm
Front page
talking like the biggest double D's you ever seen pushed together.
Like Tiny Tina Kazunga's like you would not believe.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god, dude.
And I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's the same picture, but it's in real life. Like the fact that the emote got banned and then that one's okay. I couldn't believe it. And so I clicked it. For research. Like, wait, hold on.
For research purposes.
Hold on.
This is deep research. Research.
Just wait. I was
Thanks
researching.
for taking one for the team on that. Yeah.
I'm researching for the stream because I'm like, well,
good job.
Maybe sometimes the thumbnail is just it's just like a quick
They're
moment,
maybe
right?
moving or getting something.
You never know. No, it was under 3 minutes, but it was like a full 2 minutes and 59 seconds of her just torso, titty out. Could not believe it. And she was like writing on a name tag, yada yada yada. I could not believe it. It was like zoomed in right on those bazungas, and I'm like, how is that not the same thing? And so once again, Twitch bonus topic, you're idiots.
And this is okay. We want to make it clear for the millionth time. This is no hate towards the women streamers. They are clearly have found a niche.
They got their hustle, baby.
They're making bank, and people are enjoying the content. Maybe a little too much, but they're enjoying the content and they're having a good time. We have no hate for the women streamers. All hate should be all anger should be directed towards Twitch because the issue is just the massive discrepancy in the rules and like a guy with. Again, it had like 2 shirts over it of like a female chest. That emote gets banned, but then this stream is a-okay, and it's just like, and other people have gotten banned for like, random stuff, dog butts, phallic-looking objects that aren't even, you know what I mean? And it's just like those all get banned. No, it's a big ordeal usually, but then this is like a-okay, and it's like. I just don't understand.
I'm gonna bring up the picture, but it's blurred out, so you can kind of see it. I'm just gonna bring it up so you can understand what we're talking about here. But like, this was the photo. Like, I'm just gonna do a quick little flash. Like, it is full on. Like, it's not even like, oh my, I happened to walk in front of the camera. It is a full on, like, that is the angle. You to get a shot like that. You have to have a camera on a tripod, like right here, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like their moderation.
Thank you for doing your research here.
I got you, boys. I saw the thumb, and I was like,
Canadian hero.
I got it.
I'm going in for research purposes.
Did you see? I mean, it's even YouTube's had some sketchy ones lately. Like there's one girl who's literally her whole channel is about her and her bizarre pets. She has some really bizarre pets. And she had a video where the thumbnail said, look how big it is. And it's her holding her pet snail. It is literally the thumbnail is a snail. And you can clearly see it's a big slimy snail. And she's holding it. But YouTube demonetized it because it was racy. And it was a slug.
Was she like in a bikini in the background or something?
No, she was fully clothed, and it was it was a snail.
Look at how big this freaking slug is. YouTube's like, you're out of here. But naked yoga, fully naked yoga on YouTube,
you get
like,
right out
that's
of that.
Fine. That's just educational. Snails?
The video's about the growth that her snail underwent.
Get this pervy snail crap off my website. What the heck?
Well, have you seen that girl and she eats like all the different, she kind of eats weird food, and she bites it and it like shoots out water. It's like, Wait, hold on. How's that not getting banned? Like they're clueless. Like they truly are clueless. My biggest recommendation for anyone who wants to get into content is just don't. Is exactly. Just don't. If you think like, hey, maybe don't. Just don't. And then you're safe.
Go to trade school, become a welder, something important, something useful to society. Well, you're good to go. There's your whole life right there. You're good, baby.
No, I mean,
honestly, though,
if you want to keep getting into content, like if you actually want to do the content, though, like if you're ever in the back of your mind, like maybe I should try this little thing, don't though. Like that's what I mean. More is just there's so many things I can get. I got banned for talking to Wish You Luck on my Twitch stream. And then he got unbanned. He got unbanned. So it's like, was I even talking to a banned streamer? He was like, I don't know. It's just so bizarre what they do over there. But anyways, those are the main topics for today. We went over a little bit, but we're gonna still kind of vibe out. We're having a good time.
We're gonna have RGH After Dark.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't already, we'd really appreciate a like on the stream. We would really appreciate a follow because we do this every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, and we're gonna level with you guys. Thank you so much for the members because you provide the income so we can pay our editor and stuff like that.
That's
because
right.
God knows, especially with the deep research Mtashed is doing, that we get demonetized all the time.
Come on, man.
So we need you guys as members, that's for sure.
Hey, our viewers went up when I started showing the tata.
Yeah, well, that's why those streams exist, baby. Like, you know what I mean?
That's right.
There you go.
Okay, one quick thing that's not a question yet. Have you been looking at the stock market the past couple days?
I don't even want to.
A bloodbath. It has been a bit of a bloodbath if you're in technology. But also, did you see what Elon Musk said today? He tweeted out today that Tesla is no longer going to be taking Bitcoin for their vehicles.
Because Bitcoin is like not environmentally ethical.
So they bought,
which seems like a convenient excuse to just get out of it.
Yeah, but they bought, what was it, 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. They said, we're not selling the Bitcoin because they don't want to crash the market, but come on. But they said, we don't want to be like involved with this. So I'm sure they'll exit their position somehow down the road. But it is really interesting because he was on SNL. Dogecoin kind of tanked after he was on the episode. And then now they're essentially exiting Bitcoin, which is pretty crazy. But on top of that, crypto aside, a lot of the tech market is absolutely tanking. There's been some crazy stuff going on with did you see that there are people putting gasoline in plastic shopping bags?
Oh my gosh.
You didn't see that? I gotta share you that. In the East Coast, there is a pipeline that's been shut down, and people are really worried about gas prices rising. And there's a bunch of videos.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's like the gas pipeline supplied the gas for a huge portion of the East Coast. If that was shut down, there was a guy who did a breakdown. It wasn't just some random guy. He's like works with the government in infrastructure, and they did a breakdown of like, if this is off for 3 to 4 days, we can get it back. You're not even gonna notice it. 6 to 8 days, we're going to have some major shortages and increases. Then it was like, up to 12 days or whatever it was. And it's like, we are going to see like rolling blackouts where it's like, it's going to be really problematic, right? So I don't like the narrative of like, look at all these dumb idiots going in and hoarding gas. It's like, brother, if that pipeline would have stayed down, you might need that gas. These people, you're just mad that they're smarter than you, baby. Like,
but they're putting it in a plastic IGA bag.
Always smarter than you. But it is understandable that people did panic because, again, this pipeline being down, and it was down because of a malware hack.
Yeah.
But apparently it's some like Russian hacker group. They hacked and they had to shut down this pipeline because now the integrity is lost because they hacked it somehow. This is a little bit secondhand. But yeah, this pipeline would have stayed down for a considerable amount of time. It would have been really, really bad for the infrastructure of the entire East Coast of the U.S.
It's just shocking. It's just shocking to me watching that happen. I swear, people are so good at like panic buying.
Like
whenever there's a thing, they will hoard toilet paper, they'll hoard gas. But like whenever
here's the thing though. Here's the actual thing that no one wants to admit. although it's like, hey, if no one panicked, we'd all be okay here, right? That's right. But everyone does panic, so you can keep saying that. Like, but if you live in reality, the people who went and like bought all the toilet paper right away, they were the ones sitting there laughing. It was the people who were like, "Don't panic." You know what I mean? Like, I know better than everyone. They went to the store. There was no toilet paper. They were the idiots in that scenario, right? Like the people who panicked got all the toilet paper, dude.
I mean, the thing I noticed is like most of the toilet paper was gone. It was just the cheap brands that I buy anyway. So I was like,
yeah, exactly. You notice no difference.
my favorite one is still there.
Listen, you just gotta get a
0.5
bidet,
ply.
man. Problem solved.
I want a bidet. I want a bidet.
Yeah.
I want that thing you can eat off it. Wait, what? Are we getting demonetized?
Oh, we're demonetized so long ago, dude.
Wait, I have one quick question. Now that we're
Okay.
on the topic, when was the first time that you partook in a bidet and you realized, damn, this is kind of fire? Mine was in Mexico. I was in Mexico at a resort and I was like, well, I'm just going to try it. And then I was like, install that in my house right now.
They're pretty easy to install. Yeah, I've been lucky enough to do a lot of travel. I've been to Europe, been to Africa, I've been to China, I've been to Australia, I've been to South America, Central America. I've been just about everywhere. So some places have them. I learned that it was a more culturally normal in places where I'm not. You adapt. But yeah, you're like, huh? Who thought? Who knew?
I'm scrolling through. Every comment is just about bidet stuff now. We've entered a rabbit hole.
Yeah, something's wrong here. There's definitely something wrong. We need some.
Chris, thanks for the $20 donation. Appreciate
you know what?
that.
Actually, yeah.
Chris with a K.
We got a beautiful donation from Chris. We also got a $5 donation early on. Let me just see who that was. I'll see if I can bring it up here. Unfortunately, there's like a bit of a timer, and it doesn't show it after a couple minutes. Let's go back and find it. We got a $5 from Andrew Preston. Destiny 2 crossplay accidentally enabled. We talked about that so much. Andrew Preston, absolute beauty. Christopher, see you, baby. Cute boy. How dare you, Ninja? Right? Like, I can't believe Ninja. Can't believe you did that to us. I'm returning all my Ninja merch.
Here's a question. What's your guys' favorite season out of Destiny 1 or 2? I'll start. I think for me, it's got to be Age of Triumph. Like, that was such a banger way to end Destiny 1. All the raids were relevant. The ornaments were fire, dude. Like, they're crazy. I loved it.
I mean, it's really hard because you always have the rose-colored glasses. But, like,
yeah,
obviously, like, the very beginning of Destiny, just because we were all lost, I would say as a content creator would be Taken King, just because I feel like they changed so much. But then I think if I had to pick one, would be Forsaken. Just because, like, there's a lot of exotics and, like, pretty interesting stuff. I really enjoyed the raid. I thought the PvP meta in Destiny 2 was, like, pretty fun with the, like, Not Forgotten and everything, but it's hard to compete with the very beginning because we were all just kind of lost in this world, you know? What about you, TV?
Forsaken was banger. I really enjoyed that season as a content creator. There was a lot to cover. There were a lot of connections to make. A lot of people were getting back into the game too, so it was a great time to reconnect with friends that we had made in D1 and hadn't played with in a while.
Yeah,
so that was a big one for sure.
Are 120s still just the meta? They're still very, very good. Yup. Dead Man's Tail as good as ever, or Hand, whatever it's called.
I thought they were gonna nerf that.
DMT?
They're thinking about it.
They're thinking about it. Just like the Stasis stuff.
Right.
It's
big donation from Cal Drogo saying, "Been watching your channel since Destiny 1." Mike, just him, okay. And I appreciate you show emotion in many of your videos. Helps teach young guys not to suppress that kind of thing, and it's okay to feel. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
I've been watching Mtashed, and my one main takeaway is this guy is emotional. This guy is crying every other video. He's quitting. He's gone. He's back. He's, you know what I mean?
When we went away on a trip, I think I cried 5 out of the 7 nights. I'm just so happy to be here. The weather's been so good for us.
Three of those 5 times was because I made him try like delicious food. He wasn't stuck with like noodles from Boston Pizza.
Does he get emotional when he drinks, Kackis? Does that tend to kick it off?
Honestly, it doesn't even make that much of an effect.
No,
I'm just crying.
Mike,
it's basically like
we get along real well if we were like sitting around having drinks.
Dude, once you're already at 100%, you can't go higher, right? That's basically him and the emotionality when drinking.
I would say when I drink, I would say I get more like aggressive and trolly. Like the emotion starts going away. Well, like back in the day, like back in high school, number 1, I was a horn dog. Number 2, I would get very aggressive. Like if someone was beaking me, it was like, all right, we're gonna fight. So like that was definitely something that like I would get like really aggressive. So I think like the crying would go away. I would just kind of turn into a douche. Like that's the only way to describe it, really. I mean, that's pretty fair, right? The whole night, Kackis was just annoyed with me. So I mean, that makes sense.
No, it wasn't. No, we were fine. You couldn't. You had 2 White Claws though, and we're chundering. You visited the top of Mount Chunder at the night. I was like, this guy. We were like thinking, like, you got sick. You had like 2 White Claws and a shot, and he's like, oh.
No. That's because I had 900 Skittles and
Oreos. Because my wife made this little travel snacks thing and was like, it's a good idea, and then you guys are just like piled down all the good stuff.
Here's the thing.
It was like a tray. All the Skittles were gone, all the good stuff were gone, and then there was a massive thing of pretzels that like no one touched. I was like, oh my god.
You're missing one key detail here. Is I was so heavily invested in these treats that the Rav was careening off the road. The Rav was careening into the ditch because I was like, I want these treats.
You'd notice the car wandering into the other lane, and I would like notice this, and I would go and look, and you'd be like picking out the red Skittle from the stupid thing, and I was like, no, Dash!
All right, don't expose me.
I'm going to answer a few questions now. First and foremost, TV, will the Stasis sidearm be the only Stasis you ever use? I tried it out for a little while. I didn't really care for it. I don't like freezing in general, but it apart from that, it's just kind of an okay sidearm. So
it's got a bit of a shot delay, right? Like if you click it, it shoots a tiny bit after, right?
Right, it shoots on the release of the trigger, not the press. What's TV drinking? Well, I came to the podcast straight from date night with my wife. It's our first date night in a while without the kids, because both of us are now fully vaccinated, 2 weeks out. So we decided to celebrate winter. And I had a blackberry whiskey lemonade. And then I had a Kentucky Kiss, which is rye whiskey, maple syrup, and strawberry. And then since we started the podcast, I started out with the Zeppelin blend from New Holland Spirits, followed up with Redwood Empire Rye.
How's that distillery sponsorship going?
I gotta reach out to him, chat with him again.
Brother, if any of you guys know any breweries or distilleries who want to sponsor your boys so we can just drink on the podcast and shout them out, we're available. We don't even want payment. We just want free products. That's it. We're cheap. We're cheap buy. So tell your friends.
I actually have a big question. Which was the best when you went out for drinks? Was it the lemonade or was it, what?
I actually like the Kentucky Kiss was really good. The lemonade was good, but it was too sweet. Right. They didn't put enough whiskey in it. It didn't bite hard enough.
Right.
But it was still good. But the food was delicious. I had a really nice baked walleye with crispy prosciutto on top.
Prosciutto.
With some asparagus.
Why do you have to say it like that? It's just prosciutto.
Prosciutto.
I guess the first time I had prosciutto.
I can answer your question with one word. Kackis. That word is antiope.
Come on.
That's why I pronounce it that way.
Do you say it like a charcuterie instead of charcuterie like a normal human being?
No, I don't eat blocks with cheese on top for $50.
Guess you're not a normal human being. It's not $50. You can make it yourself.
I
You
can
can
get-
cut up
I can
cheese
get-
yourself. You
I
get some
get
meat.
string cheese from the
Have
fridge.
you never
from
had a
Bungie.
charcuterie night?
I have had charcuterie
Oh,
before, and
Fuck off.
and most of those cheeses on that piece of wood tasted like socks.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
listen.
you.
No. You do it right. Get the blue cheese moldy stuff out of here, okay? You can get some Havarti. You can get some smoked Gouda. You can get some delicious stuff that's not the moldy stuff.
I got one question for chat and listeners right now. If you're driving in your vehicle while you're listening, yell it out. Would you rather have a charcuterie board, or would you rather just have a grilled cheese sandwich? Would you rather have a peanut butter and jam sandwich? Would you rather have buttery noodles baked with cheese on them?
I'm gonna make you guys a proper charcuterie board.
Listen,
And
make
you're
me
gonna
a
be to the
banger
moon, baby. It's delicious.
Dude, do it. Make me a banger charcuterie. 'Cause everyone
I will
I've
do
ever
it.
had,
Next time we're together,
I'm looking at the price tag, and I'm like, I could have had another entree, baby.
I will make you okay, the restaurants charge $1 billion for it. I don't know why, but I will make you one. It's gonna have the delicious, soft cheeses, like the good stuff. It's gonna have delicious meats. It's gonna have jams. We're maybe even gonna have some smoked salmon in there. Amazing. It's gonna be fantastic. Gonna treat you guys, because apparently I have to introduce you guys to this thing called culture. You never heard of it, so I'm gonna do that myself. I'm gonna take charge here.
I would rather eat a witch's ass than your charcuterie. I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
Charcuterie, and you're gonna like it. You're gonna love it. I gave this guy Havarti for the first time, and he was cutting it up,
crying.
I got a thing of Havarti this big. Tash had like this much on Ritz crackers. He's just devouring these crackers with his cheese. He's like, oh my god, cheese can not taste like plastic. Cheese, I've never had this before. It has flavor.
All I eat is Kraft singles. I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
With the plastic on.
Oh my god.
One of my first charcuterie experience was with a couple of Bungie devs. I won't say their names. At my first Guardian Con. No. It was in Seattle. That's right. It was my first. It was one of my first like summits I went to. And they're like, "Hey, come out with us. We're just gonna go across the street to this bar. They've got a really good charcuterie." I was like, "Okay," and I was trying to like, I wanted to come back, so I was trying to like fit in, And they're like, "Oh, these cheeses," and they're going through all of them and how great they were, and I was like, "They all taste like booty hole to me." And laundry.
That's what we say about your whiskey.
Yeah, you and your whiskey. This one tastes like, this one burns your throat. This one burns your throat and barely tastes like smoke, I guess. Like, I don't care.
Barrel proof, more like this tastes like trash. I don't know. We don't know where.
Put some of that honey and strawberry and Coke in there.
Make me a pina colada with whiskey.
Yeah.
I don't care.
If I want to have at least 50% fruit juice, if not more. Otherwise, get it out of my sight.
Listen, I'm not gonna knock on fruit juice in drinks. All right, I love mixology. I juice a lot of fruits on my own for drinks that I make here at home. It's all good. Listen, I made the Mtashed mango splash cocktail.
Which we never got.
I made the dragon fruit one for Kackis, which was, by the way, one of the best drinks I've ever made. I'm not even gonna lie to you. No cap.
That sounds good. I'd love to have tasted it. I mean, obviously, I can't blame you for that, but one day we gotta get back together. I want one because it looked good.
Wait. Before we go on, we are planning, when we're vaccinated, when things open up, when we're allowed, we want to go to an all-inclusive resort. Should we bring the podcast gear and do a podcast from Mexico?
RGH on the beach. We set up a laptop. It's going to be trash quality. We're going to have someone holding a snowball, and we're going to be absolutely plastered, and we're going to bring you guys the best damn episode you've ever heard in your life.
I'm thinking about it. I'm dreaming about it. I'm
dreaming about it. Let's do it, baby. All right, guys, you know what? I think it's time for me to get back to grinding the new season. I'm a PvE player, so it's still an okay game for me.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, you got stuff to do. It's just not any fun doing it. But
You want to raid with me? Like, would you take me through the raids, or are you done them already?
I haven't done.
You're not gonna get any
Deepstone.
pinnacle drops.
Yeah, they don't drop pinnacle drops.
But it'll drop something, won't it?
Yeah,
It'll drop you things,
Or
but
do
those things
we
might
could
not
do
be
the
of
we could
any
do the
value.
prophecy? I just want to spend some time with you.
I do need to do the prophecy dungeon. I'll do that with you.
I'll consider
All right.
it. All right.
All right,
Sweet.
gamers.
Thank you
It's
guys so
time
much
to
for
end.
watching. We do this podcast every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. my time.
Our time,
which
9
is
p.m.
9
Eastern.
p.m. Eastern time. I knew that. This is the RGH Real Gamer Hour podcast. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like the podcast. And, we do have this stuff on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. So if you miss a podcast or you just want to listen, maybe while you're riding your bike, we're available all over there as well. Thank you so much. I'm Mtashed.
I'm KackisHD.
I'm True Vanguard.
See you later.